right, y'all, what is good? What is going on? What is good? What is going on with the collective? It is me, the Joey Digital. Just want to say what is up, see what is good with the collective, and send you all waves and waves and waves of positive energy, frequency, and vibration in this moment. Definitely go ahead at your earliest convenience and like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you all may be updated when I post and create all new content. All right, cool. What is good, y'all? What is going on? I am back. We are here at the most amazing ever, the Fort Lauderdale Beach. As you all can see, super dark. I call it the night beach. I call it the night beach when it looks like this, but because the hours have changed, it is not late, it's just not sunny, you know. It's still super early in the evening. All right, I believe it's around like 5 or 6 o'clock. You know, but hey, we're here, I'm here, you're here, we all here together, you know, and I'm super happy to have you all. Okay, I am happy to announce that we have new subscribers to the channel, so if you are checking out the content, just know that you all are greatly appreciated. All right, as you all know, from time to time I will pull out some of my crafted chains. You know, this one here, I love this one. This is my starfish chain, you know, with the green aventurine on it, which is amazing for good positive energy and abundance. All right, and you know, I've been wearing some other metaphysics. You know, I actually have on a few right now as well that you can't see, and you know, different glasses. You know, I'm just switching it up right now. You know, I gotta keep the energy fresh, but I'm just super happy to have you all here, man, and I'm just happy, I'm excited for where the content is going. All right, and I just want to let y'all know that I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for checking out the books that I've been putting up on Amazon. Y'all been supporting my books and my journals. I just want to let you all know that you all are greatly appreciated. Definitely go ahead and check out the website, thejoeydigitalexperience.com, if you want to go ahead and pick you up some things. You know, I got some things over there. All right, but anyways, before I get the video going, I just want to go ahead and, as I said earlier, go ahead and send y'all positive energy, frequency, and vibration in this moment. And you know, just want to let y'all know that you all are greatly appreciated. All right. So, what this video is all about is, I just did a video earlier about your journey, and now I want to do a video about, you know, manifestation. You know, I want to do something about manifestation, and it's been a lot, you know, it's been a lot of synchronicities and different things that have been happening in my life. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let y'all know a little bit about some of these amazing things that have been happening with me. And then also I'm going to end it off with things you can do to recognize and realize your manifestations and things that are happening with you in synchronicity. I hope I'm saying it right. Excuse me. It's a confirmation with you, things that synchronize with you and with your journey. Okay, there are some things that ever since the Mercury retrograde that happened the other day, there have been a lot of changes. There have been a lot of disruptions, and there have been a lot of triggers. Now, when I say disruptions and triggers, it's not a negative thing. You know, it's not a negative disruption. It's not a negative trigger. These are positive triggers. These are positive disruptions. These are things that are disrupting the natural flow of things, because it was not a natural flow. Okay, and the flow has been disrupted so that it can be natural. All right, the flow has been flowing, you know, hit that like button. It's been flowing right now. Ever since this Mercury retrograde, I mean, I just been feeling excellent, man. I've been feeling really excellent. I've been feeling really like I've been getting my spark back with things, you know, as far as like my business ventures and different things like that. And I believe that the spark has been positively triggered by the idea that I had to feel it internally first before it can flow out into, as I just said earlier, like business things and stuff like that. And when you are manifesting, whether it's abundance, whether it's prosperity, whether it's love, there are things that will be shaken up, okay? There's things that will be shaken up in your life, in your experiences, and the shakeup that happens is not a distraction, it's not a disruption, these are not things that are pulling you away from your purpose. These are things that are pulling you toward your purpose, okay? And that is because you are manifesting it into your experience, okay? You are calling it forth into your experience because you are ready to experience these said things. All right, hit that like button. And there are a lot of us that we really genuinely don't have any more time. We don't have any more time for the letdowns. We don't have any more time for the setbacks. We don't have any more time, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like there's a lot of us here who, and you know, I really don't know how old everyone in the collective is, you know, and so I'm just saying this, you know, of course, as a positive projection, but like we just don't have time to, we're too old to feel like we're not good enough, or you know, we're too young to feel like we're not good enough. You know, we feel like we're exactly where we need to be in order to feel good enough, whether it is spiritually, mentally, or physically, you know, however it goes. You know, we feel like we're in a really good space right now where we feel confident, we feel like we are experiencing high levels of joy, high levels of positivity, and you know, we just want to keep it going, you know. So here we are, you know, we're manifesting, you know, this positive energy to just keep going and transform every aspect of our experience, every area of our life, so that every area of our life can feel positive, can be positive, can look positive for us, not just because we want it to look a certain way for, you know, for other people to experience about us. You know, this is our journey, you know. So, you know, we're manifesting. We're out here manifesting like crazy. We're manifesting like crazy because, you know, now I said a little bit about my life, but you know, as far as for yourself, you're manifesting because, you know, regardless of how your life looks, you are making a conscious, positive choice to be consciously positive, okay? And because you're being positive about your life, you're choosing to have a good, positive day. You're making a choice that your week is a positive week, your month, your year. You are actually calling forth magnetic forces of more positivity to come into your life, of more joy to come into your life, of more, you know, abundance to come into your life, because you are a magnetic match to that frequency. All right, now, as I say in a lot of my other videos, what you focus on grows, okay? So when you focus on the things that you are grateful for, the things that you are appreciative of, those things, more of those things come into your life, come into your experience. All right, and so you actually create like a force field around you of just more of that good energy, you know, like, and it, I don't know, man, I don't know about you all yet, and the reason why I say yet is because a lot of you all have definitely been letting me know in the comments that, you know, you're having a great week, that you all are having a great experience. But me personally, I'm having a really good experience with life, just because I have been setting my intentions to just really call forth more abundance, more prosperity, more positivity into my life. And in order to do that, that also means that you cannot and you should not be entertaining anything that is not serving you. Okay, so anything that is low vibrational, anything that is negative, anything that drains you of your life force energy, you really shouldn't be focusing on any of that. And who am I to say what anyone should be doing? But I'm just saying that you if you're experiencing things that are positive, is because you know that you shouldn't, that you have not been focusing on the negativity or the low vibrational things. And because you knew that you should not do that, you have in return been experiencing positivity. All right, hit that like button. And when you are this is a good one right here. This is a good one. This is I'm actually glad I'm making this video, because I have been really I was at a point, okay, all right, just sidebar, this is a little bit about me. I was at a point, right, because I've been creating books. I have been creating books on Amazon. And for those of y'all who know about the journey, especially when you are in the journey where I'm in, where like I'm an illustrator, like I illustrate books, children's books, and also just things of that nature. It's been an uphill battle, and I've been doing it for about 10 plus years, you know what I mean? And you have your moments, you know what I mean? You have your moments where you are inspired. You have your moments where you're not really inspired. It's really up to you. And it's not really a negative thing. It's just that life happens. Different things happen where you go down other paths. And in my case, it was I've gone down other paths because I wanted to sharpen my skill set. I'm actually happy to share the fact that I have deviated from the path a lot of times, just to actually, as I said earlier, strengthen my skill set, strengthen my toolkit, and really do things that make me stronger with what I'm bringing to the table, so that when I come back to the table, I can strengthen the whole package as a whole. All right, so I've done the necessary work, and I'm starting to see the results now. Like, I'm looking at my how do I want to say this? I'm looking at my account now, my Amazon account now, and it's booming right now. It's booming. I'm getting sales and stuff like that. But I'm happy to say that, I did the work. There was times where I failed a lot. There was times where I fell off. You know what I mean? I had to get back on the saddle. It was not a straight path, and I'm happy to share that, because, I'm actually happy that it wasn't a straight path, because you realize, especially as an entrepreneur, you recognize that there's only really two levels. There's the level you're on now, and then there's success, and so when you take the easy way, you really don't get a chance to trust the process. And there comes a time where if you get to the top level and then it doesn't work out and you have to start over again, or you go down a different business journey or different path, because there was no process to trust, you don't remember the process, because you went straight to the top the first time without stopping to smell the roses. You don't remember how you got there again, and then you have to, then you be like, oh my goodness, now how do I get back to the top? So because the whole thing about the reason why I'm sharing all of this is this. I took the time to trust the process. I failed a lot. Whenever I grew, I shared my wins with everyone. Whenever I failed, I shared my losses with everyone. And I'm saying all that to say this. One of my mentors, Gary V, maybe y'all been checking out his content, you know, you recognize and realize, you know, there's one thing that he says, and I love that he said that, is this: your losses are yours. You know, like when you take a loss, no one can own that. Like no one owns the loss other than you. Like no one can hold that over your head and say, it's my, you know, I'm the reason why you lost or anything like that. Like no, like when you are truly holding yourself accountable and you are taking full accountability for every step of your journey, you own that. And in owning that, you not only do you take accountability, but you actually reverse engineer everything, and you can say, okay, well, I know for a fact when I do this thing again, I'm not going to do this and this. And by owning that loss, you go into it with more knowledge as opposed to when you first started off and you were like gung-ho and wanted to do everything. Now you know how to niche down. You know how to niche down, and you know how to do one thing and double down, triple down, quadruple down, and you really push, you know, and your push goes further because you know, okay, there's no distractions. I'm not distracted by this. I'm not distracted by that. I know if I do this, it's going to fail. I know if I do that, it's going to fail. And by the time you get to doing it again, you're so niche down, you just really go straight forward. And it's like a slingshot. I made a video about maybe 8 months ago about being a slingshot. You know, like when you're being held back, by the time it's let go, everything just comes at you, you know, like that, you know, and you're actually really able to push yourself to the front of the line. And that just comes from doing the work, you know, that comes from, you know, the hard work and the dedication in your journey, and owning everything, even the losses, even the wins, and being okay with everything. And also recognizing the fact that when you're living life, there is no straight path. That's another thing that he said as well, that Gary Vee said, is the path is never straight forward. It's always, you know, you may go forward and you may stop to have kids, or you may go forward and you may stop to, you know, get a job, or you may be doing an entrepreneur thing and it doesn't work, so you may stop to move somewhere, or, you know, whatever. But just because the path zigzags, it doesn't mean that it has to be negative. It's never a negative path. It's just life. You have to, you know, give yourself a chance to live life too. And this is what I speak about when I say balance. You know, when I say everything is balanced, that means just because other things are happening, it doesn't mean that it's negative. It just means that it's all balance. It's all your journey, and it's your path. And no one can create your path for you. No one can create your journey for you. Only you and the Most High are the only two that can create your journey, your path. And once you get into that mindset, you're able to really manifest the type of life that you want to live, because you know what you stand for, you know what you're not going to stand for, you know what works for you, you know what does not work for you. And because you're willing and able to try a lot of different things and have a lot of different eyes on the stove going at the same time, you know, it's just, think about it like a cook. A cook has a lot of different eyes on the stove going. There's one pot boiling water, there's another pot simmering, you know, you got stuff going on in the oven, you got all kind of different things. And, you know, really and truly, in this game called life, you have to be unafraid to have a lot of different things going at the same time, you know. And you only hear this when you hear people talk about businesses, when you say like stuff along the lines of diversifying your portfolio and stuff. That's pretty much what this is, you know. You don't wait until you start a business to diversify your portfolio. You try a whole lot of different stuff. Like, try things. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to fail. And that's how you in return, that's how you're able to manifest. You know, like, you're able to manifest like crazy when you know, hey, I tried everything and this is the stuff that works. Or, hey, I tried everything and that stuff doesn't work, but if I tweak this, or if I get in alignment with this over here, this will work. You know, even with business partners and business friends, you know, now listen, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not actually, you know, I'm not telling y'all how to run businesses or not like that. I'm just saying, you know, this is what works for me. If you're lined up with 4 or 5 different people and you're not getting the results you need, don't be afraid to, rotate the table. Like, maybe those people recognize that you're not working for them either, so get 5 different people and do business with them. And it doesn't, like, I'm talking about doing business with people that are unapologetically, they're just very unapologetic as far as like how they want to see you win, but they're holding you accountable as well. Like, keep 5 people around you that really are holding you accountable, and they're not afraid of you. They're not afraid to let you know, hey, look, Joey Digital, tighten up. You know what I mean? Like, and you gotta really, you can't keep people around you that are just gonna let you do what you want to do and all of this type of stuff. Let people, keep people around you that keep it real with you, that are honest with you, that they're not afraid to really pull you aside and be like, hey, look, this and that, we got to do better, or this and that, you did great. It doesn't necessarily mean keeping, when you have people around you. All right, let's put it like this. Put that on the table. I'll come back to that in a second. A lot of times, what I'm saying is this. A lot of times, all that keeping it real stuff, it doesn't necessarily feel positive. So when I said what I said about balance earlier, I mean this. The 5 people that you keep around you, even though they're keeping it real with you, they mean well. They have positive intentions. Because a lot of times when people say things and they're saying, I'm being honest with you, I'm keeping it real, it doesn't feel good. All right. So I don't mean that. Because there's a lot of that going on too, where like you get news and it's just like, oh my goodness, why did they say that to me? It doesn't, I'm not speaking about those type of scenarios. I'm speaking about people who, in telling you that certain things are not working, they lift you up. They show you how. They say, hey, this and this is not working, but if we do this, and this in return, maybe we can have a better turnaround. You know what I mean? So this is kind of where I'm going with it. So, I'm happy that y'all stuck around so that I can make that point, because, I didn't want to just, deviate and leave y'all on that path over there without recognizing that there is a balance to it, and the pendulum always swings back the other way, and in return, speaking of pendulum swinging, when you're manifesting like crazy, you do realize that you don't have to stay in areas that are not serving you, right? So when I say pendulum swinging, you already know the pendulum swings this way is going to swing this way. But if you're on a level that's not serving you, you already know that you can go to the next level. You don't have to worry about if the pendulum swings backward and forward, or if it doesn't, or if it does, or if it doesn't. You know that if something's not serving you and it's low vibrational, you can go to the next level, and you won't care if the pendulum ever swings once you get to the next level. And it's not being rude or being condescending. It's just you're on this level now, so this is where all your focus is at. You're not down there no longer. You're up here, and that just goes from growing. That happens when you grow. That happens when you evolve. It's not a matter of saying you're better than any situation or any circumstance. It's just more of you're on this level now. You're not on that level, and it's because you did the work. It's not about saying you're up here now. So I'm saying all that to say this: once you get on the next level, what a lot of things. You've learned how to boil things down to a science, where you don't have to have 20 things going. You can just have 2 things going, or 1 thing going, or 3 things going. And you don't have to have you don't have to hustle. You can learn how to outsource. You can learn how to outsource and do things, You can learn how to outsource and do things that help you free up your time. Like if somebody is better at doing something than you, why not bring them in? Why not hire that person to do it? Why not let that person lend their expertise so that you can free up your time, because your time is your most valuable asset. And you realize that a lot of us realize that on the back end when we say we don't have time for certain things, whether it's stress, drama, pressure, or we just want to evolve, but you could do that on the front end when you say, okay, this person's way better at doing this than I am. Why not bring this person in? And we do this all the time when we watch YouTube videos. Like a lot of us, listen. Me personally, I'm a YouTube University alum. Listen, valedictorian. Dean list and all of that. Listen, I study videos. This is how I was able to grow and evolve. A lot of my skill sets that I learned, I did the research. But whether you're doing it through learning a skill set on YouTube, or you're actually going to different seminars, or you're going to different courses, or you're downloading courses or buying courses from people, it's a really good thing to know your strengths and know your weaknesses, so that way if you know that you thrive in certain areas, you could bring in other people in different areas to really lighten the load, because in the beginning a lot of times people want to have your hands on everything, but that's the quickest way to burn out. When you get burned out, that's when you start, you realize, like, you're not tired because you're stressed or anything. You're tired because you're burned out, and it doesn't even mean that you're stressed out. It just means, you're doing the thing you love. You love everything, but a lot of times if you lend a hand to this person, they'll give you a good idea, or that person, they'll help you fill in that gap. So I know this is a message about manifestation, but it sounds like it could be a message about businesses, but hey, listen, I'm just happy that I could help. Maybe I could, this message will provide a service for you, or maybe it'll spark some insight so that maybe it will push you to continue doing the thing that you're going to do anyway. Super happy to have been sharing this message with you. I know it's a little different than a lot of the messages that I do share, but I hope that you were able to get value and consistent growth out of this message whenever it is that you see it. I'm here at the Night Beach at the Fort Lauderdale Beach. This is the Joey Digital. Just want to let you all know that I love y'all. I'm thinking of y'all. Go ahead and do something amazing for yourself. Definitely go ahead and check out the website, thejoeydigitalexperience.com. Get all my books, get all of my journals. Go ahead and check out Amazon.com. Go ahead and get my books, my journals. I've been pumping out a lot of sketchbooks. I've been pumping out a lot of journals. Go ahead and support. All right. And just know that y'all are loved, man. And, keep me posted with everything. And I hope that y'all are manifesting like crazy. Whatever it is that you all are praying for, I am praying for it for you as well. All right. And just know that you all are loved and appreciated. All right. I will see you all in the very next video. Peace and love. Namaste.